So I came into this not necessarily with huge expectations and ended up getting really, really addicted to the gameplay loop itself. I have been playing this game so freaking much. I can't get enough of it. Anytime I'm away, I'm thinking about going back and playing it. I haven't had that kind of experience with a new title in quite a while. I mean, outside of Expedition 33. So there's been 2 games this year that have really gotten me attached to them. And I was really, really into them. We're not going to be talking about spoilers in this spoiler-free review of the game. We will talk all about the bonkers storyline next week. You beat it before me, so I don't know if you did all of the extra side content kind of stuff or if you just more or less went through the story.
Yeah, I mostly just went through the story. However, this game does have excellent, what most people would call post-game content. That being said, I put in less hours than you and beat the game. However, I utilize things like fast travel and certain maybe easier playing options to kind of speed it along quickly so that I could beat it faster that I don't think that maybe you did. And so there are things I don't normally do when I play games. But for this one, I was like, I've gotta like finish this game.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking I was going to do that.
Yeah.
And then just something came over me. I could not move on until I had gotten all of those
everything.
bases up to level 5
Yeah,
stars.
5-star, yeah.
Because you get so much good equipment. They just make everything better.
Did you find the pizza guy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Talk about Kojima, man. He shines through that character right there.
Yeah, he's great. So let's maybe start here by giving people a kind of general idea of what the gameplay loop is and what to expect in terms of how the game works.
Let's go home and get you fed.
So a basic rundown of the story is that Norman Reedus is a porter who saved the world once by carrying stuff, and now he's in retirement. But somebody's about to call him out of retirement for one last mission. This time, he needs to carry boxes in Mexico in order to save the world, leaving the child Lou in the hands of a friend. But as you can imagine, this one last job turns out to be more than he expected. Without any spoilers, that's probably the best overview I can give you.
I think I would summarize it by saying this. It's very, very similar to the first game.
Oh my gosh. Almost identical.
Yeah.
Almost identical.
In a lot of ways, this game is just repeating the formula of the first game.
And if that sounds bad, if that sounds like, oh no, it shouldn't have done that, you're misunderstanding.
Yes.
This was an excellent choice. The first game is so good and had such a great and a satisfying gameplay loop that a repetition of that 6 years later in another Death Stranding game is no bad thing at all.
Yeah, I would say I agree with that completely. It basically has the same exact formula, but it improves it in
does.
all of the areas where it needed to be tightened or where it might have felt clumsy before. It feels really tight and polished now.
I agree. The game is easier to play. The gameplay is easier. The controls are, in my opinion, better. The game in general, I think, is easier, which some people might take as a knock against this new iteration. But I was all for it. I welcomed it.
It basically goes like this. The world, which is an open world design, is broken into smaller segments, like little districts, maybe you could call them. And every time you enter into a new district or segment of that map, your goal is to bring online that area's base of operations.
Yeah, to the chiral network. Yeah, and you lose a lot of functionality once you leave the chiral network in one district. In some ways, you're a little bit blind as you're venturing into this new territory. Once you bring it online, you have a lot more freedom to build structures and to do things within that district that you couldn't do before until you then go to the next district. So Kojima kind of forces you to play the game the hard way when you're going into the next district. But once you're there, then boom, like bring on all the cars and roads and all the fun stuff that you can do within that district until you've moved to the next one, and then you're huffing it on your feet again through the next district. And it's I think it's really cool because it gives you it paces the game out really well, where you can choose when, all right, let's take on the hard stuff, or let's stick within this district and kind of relax for a little bit before we then move on to the next one. And there's 20 of them in Australia?
Yeah, there's quite a lot.
Yeah, and maybe 7 in Mexico.
Yeah,
or
so
5.
It's not dissimilar to basically every other open world game's sort of core gameplay philosophy. In others, like Breath of the Wild or Ubisoft open world games, they have towers.
Yeah.
And you go unlock the tower, that unlocks that portion of the map.
Right.
And then you go into the next one and you unlock that. So it's similar in a lot of ways to what you would generally expect in an open world game. However, I feel like this is one of the most well-designed open world games I've ever played. Even though I'm recognizing that it's doing a lot of the same things, I feel like it's doing them better, and that it paces out how it gives you new equipment or new play styles.
That's right, yeah.
In a way to where you can approach it from a lot of different directions. There's, I don't even know how many ways a different person playing the game might approach the same exact mission, but with different tools and with a totally different approach.
Yeah.
And there's so many different ways to have success. But that's broken up in such a nice way to where each time you have to go to the next sort of segment and unlock a new portion of the map, I could try it this way this time or this way. So it doesn't feel repetitious in the way that other open world games do, as long as you're utilizing new tools and playing around and experimenting.
Yeah, it's as repetitious as you want to make it. If you get kind of in a rut and you're stuck and this is how I want to do things, you can just kind of brute force your way through that way. But if you open up your mind, there's so many unique ways to accomplish the objectives within this game. It's pretty wild.
Going back to what you were saying about being in a region that is hooked up to the chiral network versus those which are not. So you get this tool which allows you to build many, many different structures. And those structures continue to be unlocked. You get more and more as you progress through the game. But these are structures that make life for porters and for those traveling around inside of that region easier. Yeah. So you're building ladders in order to cross rivers or to get to higher places, climbing anchors in order to be able to climb up to higher places.
Or rappel down the side of cliffs and things.
Without the risk of falling and damaging your packages. You can build different vehicles, whether it's the off-roader, which is unlocked a little later, but the big one.
Yeah, the four-wheel.
That you can put like a machine gun onto. And one of the, I think, the most praised new additions to the game is the sticky gun, which will grab loose or lost packages automatically as you're traveling around.
These are some of the ways that they've kind of made the game a little bit easier. They've kind of, it's a quality of life improvement that people, instead of having to stop and get out and then go do the things, and then, this is a very important thing to do though. Always do the auto arrange cargo. And every time you get more cargo, boom, go into the pause menu, let the AI sort your weight distribution out. And then it sometimes consolidates containers as well. So it's very, very useful. Do that every single time. Yeah. I tried to manually do it in the first game, and I don't know. It's just
it can take a long time. It can get kind of tedious.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of additions like that make the game a little bit less tedious, a little bit easier. But I wouldn't expect it to be a radically different thing, to where if you didn't like Death Stranding 1, I'm not sure this is going to change your mind.
Nah, it's
but
not
if you were
enough.
into it but just wished that it was tighter in certain places, that's what this does.
Cool.
It just makes the game better in almost every conceivable way I can think of, as far as the minute-to-minute gameplay itself. Yeah. Other structures as well that you can build. They have a monorail in this one, which is really cool, that can take materials from city to city. Roads, of course.
Yeah, highways, roads.
They have those battery chargers so that as you're driving around, if your vehicle's running out of battery, you can get a recharge. They have towers they added to this one which allow
Like
you to
lookout towers?
see,
Those are cool.
like watchtowers, where you
Yeah.
can look at an enemy base and mark all of the enemies and
That's
mark
right, yeah.
the different packages or that might have been stolen from other places that you can return
Right,
to,
yeah.
or
The goods.
materials or weapons or whatever that you might want to get while you're there.
Yeah.
So there's all
That's
of
very
these
cool.
different structures that you can build inside the chiral network. But when you leave it, you don't have access to those anymore. So anytime you're going to a new area and a new base to unlock, you
Yeah.
can't rely on those tools. There's certain tools you can craft and carry with you in there, like ladders.
Yeah.
But you have to have built them first
Yeah.
and carry them on you and then go into the next place. And, you know, the challenges vary. They'll either have you trekking through BT infested areas
Yeah.
where you have to fight these ghosts basically or sneak around them, or they'll have an area that is territory of enemies, you know, brigands or rogues or otherwise
Mules, yeah.
that you have to try to get through, or they'll have other geological challenges. How am I going to get over this or around
Yeah,
this?
mountains and whatnot. There's also like those weird, creepy shadow spider things.
Yeah,
that-
the chiral creatures. I
yeah,
think they call
yeah.
them, the CCs.
And sometimes you can just avoid them, but if you're just running through and not caring, you will likely run into some things that are going to start slowing you down and causing you trouble.
So each area has a mission that is sort of structured in a way that feels like it's handcrafted. This is another reason why I think the game is well designed as an open world game. And those who liked Metal Gear Solid, you know, growing up, you know, each one of those missions in those games, they're linear games. And so each objective that you have feels like this is a tailored, unique
Yeah.
little thing that is not a repeated objective that you do over and over, like in a lot of
main
other
ones, yeah.
open world games.
That's right. That's right.
If we're talking about Assassin's Creed in particular, they can get really repetitive with
Yeah.
this. And in this game, while they have a lot of things that you do, whether it's standard deliveries or other things that can be repeated, each time you go into a new area to bring that new base online, it's a tailored,
Yeah.
unique mission, similar to what you would expect in a game like Metal Gear Solid. And I just found every single one of these to be mixing up the gameplay
Yeah.
in a way to where I never felt like it was getting stale. I never felt like I was doing things over and over and over again. I always felt like I had a new tool or a new way of approaching this
Yeah, that's
that
right.
changed it up. And this caused me to really, really get into just trying to, I don't know if like completionist is what I'm doing necessarily, because I'm not trying to get, you know, triple S rank on every standard delivery
That'd be
necessarily.
crazy. Yeah.
Like you could do that, but mostly I just want to get each base up to level 5.
Okay,
So
yeah.
there's like a star system
Yeah.
where it's like that base's level of trust in you, maybe not
Sure.
trust, but just your bond with them. Let's call it affinity. I'm sure they have a technical term from the actual game, but I can't remember what it is.
The more stuff you give them, the
Yeah.
more they like you, and the more stuff they are willing to give you.
Yes, this is the point.
Yeah.
The more you help these people, the more they help you in
Yes.
return.
Yeah.
So as you bring them stuff, either stuff they've lost or run missions for them, your star rank goes up, and each time it goes up, they give you a new piece of equipment, whether it's a new gun or a leveled up version of that gun, or a new structure that you can build, or cool stuff that you can attach to your vehicles, better batteries, whatever
Yeah, stuff
it is.
that just makes things more efficient. You can even
Yes.
get something that makes your blood bag. To anyone who hasn't played the first one, you don't know what I'm talking about. But it makes it more efficient, so it draws less of your HP when you're using that kind of stuff. Yeah, you can get stuff that just makes the gameplay more efficient, and I don't want to just keep saying easier.
Yeah. It is easier. It is easier. I
makes
would
it
put
easier.
it that way.
Okay.
I would put it that way, and I think this all ties into what the game is really about. It's like a core theme. And this is outside of talking about story stuff, so no spoilers with this. But if you've played the first game, or if you saw our video on the first game, it's essentially the same thing.
Right.
It's encouraging pro-social behavior, because as we come together and as we unite, life becomes easier for everyone. and those who try to either go it on their own, do it their own way without helping others and without asking for help, or even a step beyond that, if you're trying to fracture society, or you're, like the villains in the story they're trying to keep people separated and isolated from each other. It's basically a story about how that sort of selfless act of sacrificing and bringing people together will in turn give you a better quality of life. It's basically all the benefits of society. The fact that we came together and formed a social contract, and life is easier for everyone because we all because we all pitch in and help out.
Right.
And so the more you do that, the more time you spend doing that outside of just pursuing the next main story, mission, the easier your life gets. The game does get easier. So, and this is true even of the people who play online, like the online portion of this game. If you're playing online, the game is a lot easier because people are building structures that are useful to you. In fact, it was almost too much at times.
I noticed this. There was more than in the first game, I noticed. And there was a lot where I'm like, holy cow, like this was like people have already done quite a bit of work here. Anytime I get stuck, I just look around. I'm like, oh, there's a ladder there. There's, I'm finding things that people left around. Oh no, it's starting to rain. Oh, I'm going to have to build there's a storage container right there. I'll just go use that one, Yeah. It almost felt a bit much at times, but it always put a smile on my face.
Yeah.
It always made me like, oh, that's right. I like this game. I like that this game does this.
Yeah. It was almost too much, and I'm guessing that's because we're playing the game right at launch at kind of a peak of a lot of players.
That makes sense.
Whereas you played the first game years and years later.
Quite a bit later.
Probably a lot less people online at that time. But anytime I thought, okay, I'm going to go do this mission. They want me to go into this BT-infested area. There's going to be like 3 or 4 rivers I need to cross. I'm going to take this and this and this with me, and I'm going to be all prepared. And then I go there, and all the helpful structures are already built, and I just walk right in there and grab it.
Right.
So in one sense, I think the game would be more challenging, and perhaps we could use the word fun if you were in offline mode and you had to do a little bit more managing of your own materials and really like being judicious about what you bring with you. On the other hand, that's kind of the point of the freaking game.
Right.
If you bring people together, your life is easier. And so as you do the same for others, they're doing the same for you online. So I went around as much as I could, building helpful structures. Anytime I got to somewhere that hadn't already been traversed, obviously, by other people, I tried to build something there.
Build things there.
And essentially, outside of just selecting the highest difficulty or something like that,
right.
I think that one way that you could, if you were looking for the game to be more difficult, would be to play offline. But I also think you might be missing some of like the important core theme of what Kojima's trying to convey to you, which is work with people, have these pro-social interactions, and work together towards common goals. Right. Another thing that I think, well, I'm a little bit conflicted on it. Not conflicted in any way as to being like, well, I don't know if I liked this. Just I don't know what to think about it necessarily.
Sure.
It's that they give you a lot more guns in this game.
Oh, tons.
Like a lot more guns.
Tons more guns. But in line with the pacifist messaging of the first game, that's still present in this game. It's just there. You're getting a little bit of that what they call ludo narrative dissonance.
Dissonance a little bit.
The dissonance between the gameplay and then the theme that they're trying to convey to you. And when you're just going in and just shooting people up, which I did a lot more in the second game than I did in the first game, then there's not really many drawbacks to just kind of going ahead and doing that because it's like, oh, it's non-lethal and you got a sniper rifle. You're just headshotting people with the non-lethal rounds. And at some point, it's like, it just starts to feel a little bit weird.
It's funny. It's funny. Just kind of funny. It feels like Kojima wanted to really discourage, not totally take it away from the first game because, you did have blood bullets and things like that you could shoot people with. But I do remember in my playthrough years ago, I basically relied on the bolo gun that just like
Yeah.
ties people up.
Yeah.
And I would just run past them. I think a lot of people did that. But in this game, there's so many more guns. There's a lot of guns, and they're really good guns. And they're
Yes.
really fun guns
Yes.
to play with. And I think
Yeah,
that's going to...
multi-rocket launchers and like all that good stuff. Non-lethal, of course.
I think that a lot of people who might have wanted more gunplay from the first game will probably be pleased with this.
Okay.
And I get why, and I agree that the game is more fun because of it.
Yeah.
I totally agree. It's just kind of funny that Kojima seems to be in the act of sort of giving in to maybe player demand or complaints in this
Yeah,
way.
with more guns,
All right,
more guns.
fine. You get lots of guns, but I promise you're not killing people, okay? You're not killing people.
It may look like you're killing people. It may feel like you're killing people, but you're not killing people
You're
because
not killing
I
people.
don't want you to.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
So it feels like he might be in kind of a cheap way, sort of like giving in a little bit or compromising on some of his, ideals that
Right.
he wanted to convey in the first game. Because the world was structured in a way to where if you kill people, it's really bad.
It's a
Because
nuclear bomb.
It's a nuclear
Right.
bomb.
Yeah.
If you don't dispose of that body properly, really quickly, the BTs are going to get their hands on it, and you're going to get a void out, and the freaking nuke is going to go off.
Yeah.
So you cannot kill people. It's really bad.
Yeah.
But now you are
You get so
basically
close.
killing people. You're shooting them with machine guns and assault
Yes.
rifles
Like
and
50
grenade
times.
launchers and sniper rifles and freaking... like
It's pretty intense.
really powerful guns.
Yeah.
But they're rubber bullets and they don't die. They
Here's
just
the
get
thing.
knocked out for a little bit.
Just for a little bit, a perfectly acceptable amount of time, just enough to let you do what you need to do, and then they wake back up. Everything's perfect. There's no negative effects. They don't suffer amnesia or brain damage. Everything's fine.
I feel like I've had this really nice balance where this time I'm going to try it stealthily. This time I'm not. And there were like logistical reasons for me making those choices. There have been times where I wanted to go in and do a stealth takedown, just take down all the guys stealthily, like in a Metal Gear game or something like that.
Yeah.
There are other times where I'm going into an enemy base to retrieve something. All I need to do is take down one or two guys, get the thing, and get out.
Right, and then leave.
Sometimes I did that.
Right.
And other times it just made more sense to go in guns blazing and just take all the dudes out.
Yeah.
And it created what felt for me like this really well done, almost more so than any other open world game that I've played, balance, where it is simultaneously one of the best stealth action games I've played in years.
Yeah.
One of the best third-person shooters I've played in years. One of the best survival games I've played in years.
And one of the best package delivery games you've played in years.
Yeah. I would argue in the past that open world games try too hard to incorporate so many different genres into them that they don't do any one thing super well.
Right,
They're trying to simultaneously be RPGs and stealth games, and whether it's melee combat or, shooter combat,
Right.
they're trying to combine like the best elements or the things that they think people like from multiple genres into one.
Yeah.
And usually I feel like they don't do that very successfully. They just make a game with mechanics that are worse than what other games who are focused on those mechanics do better.
I see. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
And in this game, I didn't feel like that. I felt like it does everything really, really well.
Nice.
Like survival games, for instance, I don't really love because often those turn into the player just babysitting meters.
Right.
My
Yes.
hunger meter, my tiredness meter, my
energy,
whatever. It just goes down so fast that all you're doing is just trying to replenish that all the time.
Yeah.
This has elements of that, but it doesn't ever get in the way or become annoying. But, you have to take into account that Sam needs sleep sometimes.
Yes.
Or that Sam needs to take a shower sometimes.
Or go to the bathroom or things like that.
Yeah. And your vehicles will run out of battery if you're not careful. But if you are, you're going to be okay. It's not that kind of thing where you're just constantly stressed out by this meter that goes down like this fast. And
Yeah.
so it does everything really, really well. I feel like the game overall is extremely polished. And I got super, super into it. The loop really hooked me.
Yeah.
And I just can't stop myself. I was like, okay, I'm going to go do the next mission. No, but I could go do this and this and this. And oh, I grabbed a loose package from here. And if I go deliver that, I bet I'll get up to that next star level. And then they'll give me some other new tool that I could use. I wonder what that is. And then I'm going to experiment with that for a while. And that just added up to where all of a sudden I was 60 plus hours into this game and it flew by. It did not feel like 60 hours. I am not the type of person at this stage of my life who wants to play one game for 50 hours or more. I'm all about keep that a tight 20 hours, 20 to 30 hours. That's way more my speed these days. And this just flew by. I'm just enjoying it a ton. So as far as the gameplay goes, I would say overall it's a big improvement. It feels like a big improvement, even though it's really probably better classified as a tightening.
Okay,
Just a
sure.
polishing
Just a
and a
tune-up.
tightening and a tune-up and adding a few more ideas that just make it gel a little better.
Yeah.
But I just enjoyed it so much more this time around.
明日天気になれ
That's where we're going to stop for this non-spoiler review. I would absolutely recommend this game. I loved it. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, me too.
But I do think we should at least say, without giving any details, without spoiling any particular plot point, that the story did a few things that really surprised me.
Yes, me too.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
The ending is about as crazy and bonkers
Yeah, it's wild.
as even a Kojima game has ever been, which is really saying something.
Yeah.
And it is also pretty divisive so far. A
Interesting.
lot of people are not loving what they did with the story in this game. I am not there myself. We will talk more about that next time.
Okay.
Hideo Kojima, during playtesting of the game, said the game was too good. The feedback he was getting was too universally good.
Okay.
And so he went and made changes to the game in order to make it more polarizing on purpose.
Okay, so this happens. This happens. You know the saying from Dostoevsky and the Underground Man about
Yeah.
how if we ever got a nice utopia, we would break it because that makes things more interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's happening here. Kojima has no interest in making something that everyone just likes.
Yeah.
He has, I think the fact that everyone liked it was license for him to start doing more weird things. Because first off, you can't just make a weird game and expect people to like it. You have to make a nice, well-crafted, polished game that people like first, and then see how much weirdness you can get away with before the scales tilt out of your favor. And then bring it back a little bit, and then there you go. And then that's Kojima's style, I think. He's like, make a good base game, get all the fundamentals polished, and then I'm going to throw so much stuff in there until the needle tilts the other way, and then we'll find that balance, and that's good. It's just a license for him to do more stuff. And I think as an artist, there's something about that where it's like everyone likes what I've done. I have a freedom. I have the license to be more creative than most people. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah. You really either like Kojima's style or you don't.
Right.
And for some people, the more free he has become, the less they've liked him. Maybe they liked him a little more when he had some more restraint.
Restraint, yeah.
And, maybe some people over him. Now
Right.
he's free reign to do whatever he wants. And I think some people felt that with Death Stranding. They kind of fell off his bandwagon.
Okay.
I have, I think, kind of firmly come into the camp at this point where I've played all of his games and the weird, bizarre stuff doesn't bother me. I have gotten over this sort of dissonance that maybe I experienced when I first started getting into Kojima games, where I was like, am I supposed to take this seriously or not?
We all come
And
to
the
that point.
answer is yes, right?
Yeah.
You are meant to take it seriously at times, and at times you're really not meant to.
Right.
And if you just kind of like, I maybe I should put it this way. When I came into this, I kind of just turned off any sense of resignation or whatever.
Right.
If it's the weirdest possible thing, so be it. Like, I accept that.
Good.
And that has allowed
That
me
helps.
to not feel any of that dissonance in this
Yeah.
game. And there's some freaking weird stuff. Like,
Well,
weird,
3-minute
weird
musical
stuff.
numbers
Dude, what the
and just wild stuff that only he can get away with, and arguably he can't even get away with it, but he does it anyways. And you just kind of have to smile or cringe, and once it's over, just pretend it didn't happen or embrace the fact that it did happen.
and just embrace it. You have to go into this embracing it. You have to be in the spirit
Yeah.
of embracing whatever the frick he decides to do.
It doesn't mean you have to love it. It doesn't mean you have to prefer that option in other stories. But in order to understand him at all, you have to know that these things are coming.
Like, this is a game where your companion is a stop motion puppet.
His frame rate's super low.
It's like
kinda
it's
cool.
like a 10 frames per second.
Yeah.
Outside of anything else around him, this particular puppet just animates at 10 frames per second for some reason.
Yeah, just
He's just a
how it is.
stop motion puppet. And no one questions it. It's just a stylistic choice.
Right.
This is a game where guys fight with guitars and like
Yeah.
just crazy weird stuff, and it gets really, really wild, like we said at the end.
Yeah.
But there were also moments that kind of blew me away stylistically, even in ways that the first game did not. Let's just say quiet moments, like the intermission, for example.
Yeah.
There's just this shot of the DHV Magellan and Tarman standing up there, and the little
right.
cat kind of comes and climbs on his shoulder. And that shot just felt so nice.
Yeah.
And the music that's playing along with it, and just kind of the shot selection and everything. There's just a real strong style to this that I felt inspired by while I was playing it. And I think because I've embraced or accepted Kojima for who he is, I've accepted this a lot easier than I have other of his titles, whether it's Metal Gear Solid 4 at the time I played that,
Right.
or even Death Stranding when I played it. I was really like, I don't know, this is freaking crazy. This is weird,
Yeah.
man. Like, freaking going into dude's throat and a baby's like,
Yeah.
what is this? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in a different mood, I guess, when I played this, and maybe it was just the right mood at the right time, but
I suppose so. That
it's
has
all
a lot.
working for me.
Very good. That has a lot to do with, what I took away from it too, is what you how you prepare yourself before going into this is going to help a lot. And another thing I have to add is that the characters of this game are awesome.
They're really good.
They're wonderful.
Really good.
So good. All of them, every new character, even the villains, all of it is just like, wow, these are interesting people. And that helps also to soften some of the strangeness that's going on. You're kind of grounded a little bit by the characters and the personalities and the developments that these characters are undergoing. And that helps you to be more interested even when what's happening doesn't really make any sense. But you care about who it's happening to.
Yeah.
And that's it takes talent.